Everyone fears pressure, except those who know it's a privilege. Most people run from it, avoid it, make excuses to escape it. They call it stress. They call it too much. They call it overwhelming. But those who understand, they call it opportunity. They call it the proving ground, Hal. They call it the exact environment required to become elite. A lice, Hal. Because pressure is not a burden you carry. It's the force that forges you. It's the weight that builds strength. It's the resistance that creates power. And everyone who became something worth becoming, they didn't avoid pressure. They sought it. They embraced it. They let it shape them into something unbreakable. Pressure is struggle, but struggle is the doorway, the threshold between who you are and who you can become. And most people stand at that doorway their entire lives, looking at it, talking about it, wanting to walk through, but never willing to pay the price of entry. And the price is simple: discomfort. Uncertainty, the feeling that you might not make it. That's the cost, and most people won't pay it, so they stay where they are, where it's safe, where it's predictable, where there's no pressure and no growth. Deadlines crush you. Everyone has them. Everyone feels the weight, the time running out, the work piling up, the expectation building, and most people panic. They freeze. They procrastinate until the last moment and then scramble. They let the deadline control them instead of controlling the deadline. But pressure reveals who's disciplined and who's pretending, who prepared and who didn't, who can execute under strain and who falls apart. The deadline is not the enemy. The lack of preparation is. And pressure exposes that truth without mercy. Criticism destroys the weak. Someone questions your work. Someone doubts your ability. Someone says you're not good enough. And the weight crumble. They take it personally. They let it shake their confidence. They use it as proof that they should quit. But the strong, they use criticism as data, as feedback, as fuel. They separate their identity from their performance and use the pressure of judgment to refine their craft. Because criticism only destroys those who need approval to function. And approval is not required for excellence. Only discipline is. Expectation suffocates the unprepared. People expect you to deliver, to show up, to perform, and that weight feels heavy, because if you fail, they'll see it, they'll know, they'll judge. So the unprepared avoid situations where expectation exists. They stay small so no one expects anything. They stay hidden so no one's watching. They choose invisibility over pressure. But the elite? They walk into rooms where everyone's watching, where the expectation is crushing, and they perform anyway. Not because they're fearless, because they're prepared. And preparation turns pressure into performance. Isolation breaks the needy. Pressure often comes with loneliness. No one to help, no one to save you, no one to do it for you, just you. And that isolation terrifies people who need external support to function. They need encouragement. They need validation. They need someone telling them they can do it. But pressure doesn't care about your need for support. It just presses. And those who can't stand alone, they collapse. But those who've built strength in silence, they thrive because they don't need anyone. They've become self-sufficient, self-reliant, unbreakable. Mediocrity is the cost of avoiding pressure. You play it safe. You choose easy. You stay in your comfort zone. And life rewards you with exactly what you chose. Average results, average experiences, average existence. Because greatness requires pressure, requires challenge, requires walking into situations that scare you. And if you spend your life avoiding those situations, you spend your life avoiding greatness. You get comfort, you get safety, you get predictable, but you never get exceptional. Because exceptional is forged under pressure, and you refuse to enter the forge. Comfort zones kill potential. You stay where it's easy, where you know you can handle it, where there's no risk of failure. And every day you stay there, your potential dies a little more. Because potential is only realized under pressure, only activated when challenged. only discovered when you push past what's familiar into what's frightening. But you won't push. You'll stay comfortable. And comfortable people don't discover what they're capable of. They just maintain what they already know. And maintenance is not growth, it's decay disguised as stability. Opportunities wasted because you avoided tension, the promotion that required more responsibility, the relationship that demanded vulnerability, the business that needed risk, the training that promised pain. You saw the opportunity, you felt the pull, but you also felt the pressure. The weight of what it would require, and you chose to avoid it. You told yourself it wasn't the right time, that you weren't ready, that it was too much. But what you really meant was, the pressure scared you, and you let fear make the decision. So the opportunity passed, and it went to someone willing to carry the weight you refused. This is where it changes. Right now, you stop fearing pressure. You stop running from it. You stop making excuses to avoid it, because you just realized something. Pressure is not trying to break you, it's trying to build you. Every challenge, every deadline, every expectation, every moment of strain, it's all training, all preparation, all the exact conditions required to become who you're meant to be. And you've been treating it like punishment, but it's privilege. The privilege of being tested, of being challenged, of being given the opportunity to prove what you're made of. No excuses anymore. You don't wait to feel ready. You don't wait for perfect conditions. You don't wait for support. You step into pressure deliberately, consciously, with full awareness that it's going to be hard, that it's going to test you, that it might expose weakness. But you step in anyway, because exposure is how you grow. Weakness revealed is weakness that can be strengthened, and you're not avoiding weakness anymore. You're hunting it, finding it, fixing it. Through pressure, you embrace the challenge, not because it's easy, because it's necessary, because you've learned that everything worth having lives on the other side of pressure. Better skills, stronger character, deeper resilience, mental toughness, self-respect. All of it requires pressure to develop. So you stop avoiding pressure and start seeking it. You walk toward what scares you. You choose the harder path. You volunteer for the challenge everyone else is running from. Because you understand what they don't. That pressure is the privilege. And only those who embrace it get access to their full potential. Routines become sacred under strain. When pressure hits, most people abandon their structure. They skip workouts. They skip meals. They skip sleep. They let pressure destroy their discipline. But you tighten your routines. You become more disciplined when pressure increases. You train harder when stress rises. You eat cleaner when chaos builds. You protect your structure because you know structure is what holds you together when everything else is trying to break you. Routines are not optional under pressure. They're survival. Relentless training sharpens you. You don't train when it's convenient. You train under pressure. When you're tired, when you're stressed, when you have 100 other things demanding attention. That's when you train. Because training under pressure builds a different kind of strength. The kind that doesn't disappear when conditions get hard. The kind that gets stronger when tested. The kind that performs best when the stakes are highest. That's not built in comfort. That's built under strain. Pressure strengthens focus. Distractions disappear when the stakes are real. When pressure is high, you can't afford to waste attention. You can't afford to scroll. You can't afford to procrastinate. Pressure forces prioritization, forces clarity. Forces you to focus on what actually matters and ignore everything else. And that focus becomes a skill, one that stays with you even after the pressure lifts. Because you learn to focus under strain. And if you can focus under strain, you can focus anywhere. Patience grows under weight. Pressure makes you want to rush, to force results, to take shortcuts. But you've learned that pressure is not a race. It's a test of patience, of your ability to stay disciplined when results are delayed, to keep showing up when progress is invisible, to trust the process when the outcome is uncertain. That patience is rare. Most people crack under pressure because they can't wait. They need immediate relief, immediate results, immediate validation. But you've learned to wait, to endure, to let pressure do its work without interfering. Resilience is built in adversity, not in comfort, not in ease, in adversity. When everything goes wrong, when obstacles multiply, when support disappears, that's where resilience forms. And you've stopped avoiding adversity. You walk into it. You let it test you. You let it break the weak parts so the strong parts can grow. Because resilience is not something you're born with. It's something you build. Through pressure, through challenge, through refusing to quit when quitting would be easier. No announcements. You don't post about the pressure you're under. You don't announce the challenges you're facing. You don't seek sympathy for the weight you're carrying. You just carry it. Silently. Because announcing pressure is asking for relief. And you don't want relief. You want growth, so you stay silent. You let people wonder why you're different, why you handle stress better, why you perform under pressure. And you never explain. You just show them through results. No complaining. Complaining is weak energy. It's the mind trying to escape responsibility by blaming circumstances. But you've stopped blaming circumstances. You've accepted them. You've embraced them. You've decided that whatever pressure exists is exactly the pressure you need. So there's nothing to complain about. There's only work to do. And work doesn't require commentary. It requires execution. While others quit, you continue. They hit pressure and retreat. You hit pressure and lean in. They make excuses. You make progress. They choose comfort. You choose growth. And every time they quit and you continue, the gap widens. The distance between who you're becoming and who they'll stay grows. Not because you're more talented, because you embraced what they avoided. You carried weight they refused. You endured pressure they ran from. And that makes all the difference. This is who you are now. Not someone who avoids pressure. Someone who seeks it. Someone who knows that every great version of themselves was built under strain. Someone who understands that pressure is not punishment. It's privilege. The privilege of being challenged. Of being tested. Of being given the opportunity to prove you're not average. And you've accepted that privilege. You've embraced it. And now you carry it with pride. Comment "I embrace pressure" if you refuse to run from challenges anymore.